In my opinion, one of the greatest novelists of all time is John Steinbeck. Hopefully, a bunch of you have heard of him. If not, please look him up. One of his novels is called The Winter of Our Discontent. Oddly enough, it is not about Philadelphia sports. I'm very discontent right now with a lot of things going on. We'll get into it. Be back in a few seconds.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, eSports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, iSports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at iSports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iSportsRadio.com. At iSportsRadio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
The good news is the Eagles will be playing on Sunday, 4:25. They will host the Packers this weekend in the first round of the NFL wild card. Since we've been on, they actually lost a game, won some games. It's just, hey, it's playoff time now. Green Bay coming in. I guess hopefully the season doesn't start where it finished.
Look over your shoulder.
I'm sorry. Hopefully it doesn't finish where it started. Playing Green Bay. Yeah, I know. Have some guests.
So, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. We had a 2-week break. We had a long holiday break, and we're back now.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Terrence says he got the Eagles winning. Packers won't have another 7-seed upset like last year. I hope not.
Whew.
Certainly hope not. I mean, it's the playoffs. Anything can go wrong. I mean, you hope that you don't get a rusty Jalen Hurts. You hope that the Packers don't come with some mystery scheme that he's never seen before, kind of like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did last year. It seems like, and unlike years past, like we're cautiously optimistic now. Like we expect to win, but we know there's a chance they could lose. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. It doesn't seem like there's much excitement in the city,
No, I feel that too. It when you look at some of the teams that they could have played, from whether it being Washington, being Green Bay,
mm-hmm.
I guess you could throw Tampa in there. There just wasn't a team where I don't think they'd be playing, and you could honestly feel comfortable.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Green Bay doesn't go on the road and win playoff games. They
right. I mean, it's the one team that the weather's not going to affect.
No, not at all.
I mean, you could have had Minnesota, you could have had Tampa Bay. Detroit's another team that can't go outside, but they won't have to now. It's going to be a tough road. I mean, it's not easy. I do like our chances. I think we should win the game, and then you're most likely you're going to get one of the 4 teams. You're going to either get, who would you get? The Rams, the Vikings, the Commanders, or who's their 5th? The Buccaneers.
Yeah.
You'll get the highest remaining seed out of those. So actually, no, they can't play the lowest, which would be who, the Vikings or Washington. Washington. They can't play Washington. They're the 6th seed.
Okay.
Because if they win, they'll play Detroit.
Right.
So it'll be one of the other 3. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I mean, it's a tough game. You got Josh Jacobs. It's a good offense. We talked about this. It feels like yesterday we were doing the preview of opening day when they played the down in Brazil against the Packers.
Right. Exactly.
With Jaden Reed. They're actually missing Christian Watson. I believe he'll be out for the game. So that hurts them. That's a deep threat.
Jordan Love's all right, isn't he? He's going to play.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine. I think they just said it was a funny bone in his elbow.
Yeah.
So he'll be all right. It's tough. It's. Like I said before, I like when Philadelphia is the underdog. I enjoy that more than when we're the favorite. I really do, because you're expected to win.
Well, I just get the sense, and you hit the nail right on the head. I get the sense that if they would get down 10-0, the air is going right out of that building, and everyone is just expecting it to be over. If they get up 10-0, they're sitting there waiting for the collapse to come.
Yeah.
And
they've been really good at home though. The past 5-10 years, they've been really good. I mean, we grew, the years the Buddy Ryan, the Andy Reid era. We expected them to fail basically in the NFC Championship games at home. It seems like whatever could go wrong would go wrong. But lately, they've been good. I don't remember many home losses. Right? They got knocked out in Tampa Bay twice. Who else? When else did they get eliminated? They lost in the Super Bowl. What was the other one?
I'm trying to think of a home playoff loss, but I don't.
That's what I'm saying. There hasn't been many, especially at the Link. Like who's beating them at the Link in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's been a while since that's happened. The thing that just sticks out in my mind is, okay, even if they would win this game, let's say they'd roll them 37-10 or something like that. I would want that to give me confidence going into the second game, but it won't.
Depends who they play.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I think Hurts, it's going to be a situation to see how he comes back off the concussion. And the other thing is, and you can let me know what you think.
Mm-hmm.
The running game has got to be featured, and I don't know if they'll do that.
I think that's Green Bay. Yeah, they're susceptible to the run. I mean, they can be run on, of course. Yeah, I mean, you have to establish the run. I'm looking at the past games. I don't remember this, but they lost to Seattle in the 2020 wild card game at home.
That's the game. Is that the game where Carson Wentz?
Yeah, where he got hurt. Yep.
That's on the dirty hit.
Yeah, by what's his name? The guy that ended up the defensive end, right? That he was on like Cleveland.
I'm blanking on the name too. I can see the hit in my mind.
Yeah.
And then who was it that came in for Wentz? Because he was injured too.
Josh McCown.
Yeah, and he was injured too. And the Eagles were clearly the better team.
And they just couldn't get anything going.
No, they couldn't. Well, there's no situation, at least in my mind, where I think
it was Clowney, Jadeveon Clowney, is the guy that took him out.
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clowney, kind of fitting.
All right.
You don't think if they lose, worst case scenario, I always like to throw it out there. Let's say they lose 52-0. Sirianni's still the coach next year, right?
I don't know.
I mean, they're not going to lose 52-0. I mean, if they lose 24-10.
I mean, it would probably be the highest winning percentage coach to ever be fired in the history of NFL, or probably sports, because he was 14-3 this year. 13-4 last year, 12-5.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe they might have had 6 losses last year, 11-6.
Oh yeah, they really collapsed.
Horrible collapse there at the end. No, just bring back Doug Peterson.
Yeah, he got fired. I'm trying to find Nick's career record. It's like ridiculous, his record.
Oh, it is. I mean,
48 wins, 20 losses.
And the frustrating thing is the loss in the Super Bowl, of course, frustrating, and then of course the games against the playoff games against Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I've said it when they lost in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to stand by it. The Eagles with Hurts as quarterback and Sirianni as coach will not be in another NFC Championship game. I hope I'm wrong. But right now, I mean, I think Detroit makes the NFC Championship game. I would like.
They should.
Eagles Detroit would be fun.
Yeah,
but it also like you said, especially the Eagles having to play 2 games to get there. You would see what kind of shape the team is in to get there. Whether they're more.
That'd be a great game. I mean, I don't think either team could stop each other. It'd probably be one of those games where there'd be no punts. And whoever has the ball last is going to win the game.
Well, as long as it doesn't come down to an Eagles field goal.
Yeah. I mean, I really can't see anybody else. I mean, who can you see? Minnesota, maybe? I don't know. I don't think Minnesota can play them in the championship game, though.
Yeah,
maybe they can, but that would be a tough road for them as well to go on the road for 2 and win. An indoor team.
I think I'm right in saying this, and Detroit's never been in the NFC Championship game.
Last year.
I'm sorry. There you go.
Right? I think they went last year, right?
They did. They played against the Niners.
Yeah, that's the only time. I mean, yeah.
Last year, I'm forgetting last year. See that? See, that's why I need corrected. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think they've won many playoff games in their history besides last year.
No, I don't think they have either.
They beat the Redskins back in like 1990 with Barry Sanders. I think that was his only win in the playoffs.
They had the Cowboys beat that one year, and then there was a horrible non-call that was a pass interference, if you remember. But
Calvin Johnson or Herman Moore, one of those guys.
Yeah, somebody was grabbed from behind, I remember, and Dallas ended up winning that game. See, and that was the thing. Last year, the Eagles had gone out with the way their second half went and the number of losses they had and how weakly they went out against Tampa. I just blanked out on everything that went on after that.
I know.
I mean, I can tell you that Kansas City won it over the Niners, but the other stuff, I couldn't tell you who Kansas City beat to get there. Was it Buffalo?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's got to be one of them two, right? Was it?
That's what happens to us guys. Yeah, we're sports guys, but once our teams are out of it, we kind of block the world out.
The staff will figure out who the Chiefs beat in the AFC Championship game last year. It probably was the Bills because it always seems to be the Bills.
But if it was the Bills, I don't remember much about the game.
I don't either.
All right, I'll look it up. 2023.
If someone in the chat knows, just let us know. Yeah, and like Terrence said, I mean, what took place last year in Dallas, you don't want to see that happen again with the Packers. But
that's right. They went on. Didn't they have to go on the road last year? The Chiefs didn't they beat Baltimore in Baltimore?
If you're telling me that's what happened, I'm not going to argue with you.
I know they beat Baltimore in Baltimore. I just don't know if it was the championship game, and it was. They beat the Ravens 17-10.
Wow.
They went on the road. They beat Buffalo in Buffalo 27-24. Don't remember much about that game. They did beat Miami in the opening round 26-7.
Do you think they get to the Super Bowl again?
I don't know. There's not much out there to beat them. I
was going to say differently, but go ahead.
I mean, Denver seems like the sleeper team. I think if they can go on the road and beat the Broncos, they have a chance. They're a good team. They're one of those teams that can travel. They have a good defense. I don't see anything Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh does anything.
No, I think Baltimore just my new favorite term. I think they mollywop them. So
yeah.
And Pittsburgh's been struggling. We've said this. I mean, when we've looked at Kansas City, it's like they're so vulnerable, but they kept winning. So how vulnerable can you be if you keep winning? But
they keep winning because of one guy.
Yeah, true.
We all know he's the reason. I'm trying to find trying to confirm it here. You made the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, I know in past years we had more rounds. So I was waiting for the next round and I went to go see it and I said, that's it.
When's the enshrinement ceremony? I didn't get contacted.
It's going to be in Canton, Ohio.
Cool. Well, if anyone ever wants, if anyone who's a sports fan wants to have an interesting trip, the Canton, Ohio trip is one you should try to take. I mean, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's interesting.
I haven't done it. I've been to Cooperstown, but I've never been to Canton.
And I haven't been to Cooperstown, so well,
you're closer to Canton than I am.
True.
You got a little head start. It's a straight run for you.
No, it was an interesting trip. It was not this past summer, but the previous summer we went out and we caught a Phillies game in Pittsburgh, and then the next day went.
That's right.
The Hall of Fame, sitting behind the old Madden Cruiser that had 650,000 miles on it, and
wow.
I always say this. What was amazing going through there was like the XFL exhibit, because it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's not the NFL.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay, hold on.
So does it have a Canadian football wing and an arena football wing?
If they do, I don't remember it.
I don't remember much. It's funny. I don't remember much about the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't think it was a really big building at all. It was small. It had the room with the plaques, and then it had a room with like bats and like bat that was used for, like, say, Joe Carter's home run to beat the Phillies in the World Series. It had stuff like that. It didn't have much like interactive stuff. But I went the year that Jim Palmer and Joe Morgan were inducted. So this is, in the 90s. So they might have added more stuff since. Was there a lot of interactive stuff at the NFL Hall of Fame, like throw the ball through the hole and stuff like that?
There was no. There
No?
was a few.
He said no.
There was a few things, but not that I remembered. And if there was, it didn't draw my attention. I mean, what the one thing that did, I think you would have been interested in, or would be, is the wall that has like Hall of Fame players with their sports cards. Some of their
Okay.
better sports cards or more.
Nice.
More. I don't know if it was the most valuable ones but
Yeah, people steal them.
yeah, and it would be like the ones that were very fancy and things that came out, but they just had a wall of all of them, and it was kind of interesting. You go look through for the Reggie White card, or look through for the ones that Eagles players. Yeah, if I was sitting here now and I was looking at and saying what the Super Bowl is going to be, I mean, it's not going to be that dramatic of a pick. I mean,
There's nothing you can say besides Pittsburgh. There's pretty much no matchup you could say that I will totally disagree with. I could see anything happening.
yeah, because I think it's going to be Detroit. Obviously, I'm hoping against it.
Detroit and Buffalo, maybe.
Yeah, that would be my pick right now if I was placing money on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how you can pick against Kansas City. I mean, they just find ways to win. And look, don't they want Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl? But
Yeah.
wait, the Super Bowl's in New Orleans. And Louisiana's a red state, and she said she won't attend games in red states.
Really?
So,
And how's she good at that? What, she doesn't go to his home games anymore?
I don't know. I think that was kind of a comment why she wasn't at the game in either Cincinnati or Cleveland, one of them. And I think it was just a tongue-in-cheek, offhanded comment. But if you want to take
sorry, Larry. I forgot. I was supposed to message. I never let Larry know we were going live. That's my fault. But if you hear me, Larry, from now on when we do the show, we want to wear yellow coats for our Hall of Fame.
There you go.
I want a yellow coat with the IE Sports logo on it. Suit jacket.
Yeah, and we want the banner behind us to, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famers. It should be.
Yeah, that should be a Hall of Fame logo. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Tonight, Penn State.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's funny. Like they're kind of our team, but like they're more of a fun team to root for. Like I don't have this love-hate relationship with them. It's just like when they're doing good, it's like cool to see. Like if they lose tonight, I won't be upset.
No, it's not going to ruin. It's not going to ruin the weekend.
Right. But if they win, it's something to look forward to. I mean, can you see another Penn State Ohio State game? How many times have we played them and failed?
Yeah, true.
Imagine seeing that for the championship. That would be cool.
It really would, even though I think it's going to end up being Notre Dame, Ohio State, and I think Notre Dame, out of the Final Four now, I think Notre Dame is going to win it.
I don't think Notre Dame's that good. You think they're good?
Yeah, I do.
Didn't they lose to like Western Michigan or something?
I'm not sure what the one loss was. It's possible. It's possible. Or was it Western Michigan State? No,
that's what I mean. I don't think they're that good. I really don't. I mean, I think Penn State shuts them down.
What they did to Oregon, but
I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a defensive game. I think you're not seeing a lot of points tonight. I think you might see 25, 27, 30 points total. It's going to be like a 13-10 game. Because they're really good defense, unless the defense has produced points, turnovers deep in the other team's territory. But I like their running game. Penn State has this Katron Allen and Singleton. That's a good 1-2 punch. Aller's a kind of like a game manager. He's not a super quarterback. I like the other quarterback that came in when he was hurt. I remember messaging you about that. I said, this guy should be their starter.
Yeah, probably.
He can run. He can throw.
Yeah, and Penn State's passing game is not that bad, especially with the use of the tight end.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name right now, but I mean, what is he? He's like 6'8". I know he's not that tall, but it seems like any jump ball he's going to get.
He's a first-round pick. I mean, he's an NFL tight end. So, I mean,
yeah, there's a team out there who probably is looking for a future tight end.
Yeah, I think the Dallas Goedert experiment is kind of over. See, it's funny because Zach Ertz actually had a better season than he did.
You know what? I should have written that down when I noticed that before to mention that, because he did.
Yeah, they moved on too early, I think, from Zach Ertz. I mean, he had a lot left in him.
And Zach Ertz is probably going to have, well, I don't know, maybe in the playoffs, hopefully not, but I mean, he might have a better playoff too.
Yeah, definitely possible. Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
what time
strange.
is it? It's 26 after. Let's do our predictions for the game.
I'm going to go Notre Dame 31-16.
Wow, a lot of points.
The over-under is 45.5.
Yeah.
And I think what it's going to be is I think it's going to be around like you said, 24-16.
Yeah. They're predicting 24-21. That's what they think it's going to be.
And then at the end, they score late to put the game away. And of course, and when I sit here, I say this with a lot of things. I hope I'm wrong about that. I mean, I hope Penn State can look at what took place against Oregon and be able to.
Yeah, I don't know what Oregon did to expose them. I mean, their defense, they couldn't stop them, but Penn State's pretty much stopped everybody else. You know, they stopped SMU. They did a great job on Genty. I mean, he was the player of the year, the offensive player of the year, and running back. You know, he won the Bolitnikov Award. I mean, not Bolitnikov. What's the best running back? Whatever it's called. He won that. He was the top running back, and they shut him down. They did a good job. I know their offensive line probably couldn't stand up to Penn State's defense. I'm just not impressed with Notre Dame's offense, and I think Penn State can shut them down and win.
I hope
14-7. Old fashioned defensive football game.
7:30 start game in Miami. So
yeah, looking forward to it. How about Eagles predictions?
No, I'm going to take the Eagles to win, and
That's not good. I don't like the sound of that.
I know, and I'm going to take the Eagles to win 28-13.
That's the first time all year you've picked them to win.
I know, and I'm just because I think one, playing at home, I think they're a much better team, and I think what's going to happen is I think you're going to see a game where, like I said, I just don't see Green Bay coming in and running it up. I could see it being 17-13 in the fourth quarter, or it being 13. I could actually see it being like 13-10 in the second half. But the Eagles in second half of games have been able to turn it on when they need to.
Yep, their offensive line wears down the other team, and that Saquon Barkley always seems to break one in the second half.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, I think by the fourth quarter, the defensive line is going to be the difference. And
even if they get behind, even if they're down by 3, down by 7, you have to keep running the ball. You can't go 100% rely on the pass, especially with Hurts.
As long as it doesn't come down to Jake Elliott.
Okay. I know.
I don't trust Jake Elliott making a 19-yard field goal to win the game.
Yeah, I don't either. And I hope that it's, like you said, a blowout, and I hope we get them 38-17, something like that.
Yeah. That's what you think will happen?
What I hope will happen.
Right.
The reason I cut the Eagles so short is because we have some Phillies news. I don't know if you caught it.
I did not.
They made some signings. They signed Alec Boehm to a 1-year, $7.7 million deal.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean,
I did.
They have him. He's going to be back. And
it went in one ear and out the other, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, they signed like 4 guys. They signed Ranger Suarez for 1 year, $8.8 million. They got Bryson Stott for like $20.
Yeah.
They gave Bryson Stott like nothing.
I did see these. I'm just not calculating it as new players coming in.
No, but I mean, I didn't even know there was a possibility they wouldn't. And then Brandon Marsh, 1 year, $3 million. It's kind of cheap, isn't it?
For a guy who ESPN ranked as the 6th best
I
center
know.
fielder in baseball,
I don't get it. Why did he say no thanks? I'm going to test free agency. I don't.
because ESPN's wrong.
Yeah.
Or if that's true, what does that say about center fielders in baseball?
Yeah, that's true too.
But okay, given that they've done that, my question is, why don't they just sign Jeff Hoffman?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. It's not like it's a ton of money.
I'm not the biggest Hoffman fan because I mean he's wilted in the playoffs, but looking at some of the stuff that he's done during the regular season, looking at his arm, looking at the fact since he's been here, he hasn't been hurt. He's reliable. He actually can pitch back-to-back days at times. And given what I see in that bullpen, I mean,
I don't get it. What's he want? $9 million? I mean, who else are you going to bring in? You're going to have to pay them $5 million. So,
well, and who cares? Who cares if you give him 18 to 20 for 2 years? So what?
Right. Yeah,
and if you have a situation where Hoffman can at some point be a starter, I mean, an extra starter. I mean, I don't think they would convert him. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's just the issue. They want him, but they're not going to let him start, and he wants to be a starter.
Well, if he wants to be a starter, I mean, that's a totally different story. But I don't think any team's really going to take him as a starter and take him seriously.
Yeah, I mean, they would have by now.
Yeah, I mean, he was a starter for Colorado, and he was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, what teams out there aren't looking for starting pitching?
I know, but he doesn't have starting pitching stuff. He's the kind of guy I think if you see him more than once in a game, you're going to hit him hard.
And he's definitely not getting
left-handers.
He's not getting through that lineup 3 times.
Right.
Most times he's not.
Right.
But yeah, because when you look at the bullpen situation, I just sit here and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's going to be time.
It's all question marks. You know what's coming. The closer. Well, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt in spring training.
Well, then they just go to Alvarado, I guess. I
guess, but I can't even think of his name. Toronto guy. What's his name?
Romano?
Yeah, Jordan Romano.
Yep.
I predict right now he will be on our list of Phillies. He'll be on our Danny Tartabull, Lance Parrish list. He will never save a game for the Phillies.
It wouldn't shock me. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't shock me. And then you're going to have the discussion. Well, they didn't pay much. They took a shot. He was good. Now, if he went to Atlanta, I mean, he'd be in the All-Star game if he was on the Braves.
Oh yeah. So with Taijuan Walker, when Taijuan Walker leaves here, he'll go somewhere and be like 10-1 at the All-Star break. Did you see him working out? Did you see the video of him throwing in the net? He was in the net with the radar gun.
And I saw the one where he was like doing the shoulder press with the weight.
Yeah. There you go. Congratulations.
Thanks, Larry.
Well deserved, right, Larry? We won our Hall of Fame jackets. That's that.
No,
we won on early tonight, Larry, because we want to catch the Penn State game. They're playing in the playoffs tonight.
That's the question mark too. What do you do with Taijuan Walker? I mean, they can't put him out there to start a game unless he's the emergency starter. It's for somebody who got hurt or whatever.
I guess he'll be your mop-up guy when you're down like 8 runs in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, I would guess.
He'll just come in and he'll make it like 17-0.
Well, knowing them, they'll be up 8 runs and bring him in, and then and then it could be a problem.
But yeah, the video I was referring to, I think he got up to like 92 on the radar.
Yes,
that was with like a he like hopped into it. It was like the hop and the throw. It was like on an elevated mound, but he still only threw 92.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, just cut your losses, I guess.
We're actually on early because staff is tired.
But the Phillies don't seem to cut their losses. No, but it's going to be, when I talked about, and we'll get into it here, the winter of our discontent.
Right.
I mean, even that's part of it, because you look at the starting pitching that they have. It's It's well above average.
Yeah.
What did they do? But is the bullpen? No. Even though I'm waiting for the ESPN to come out and say they have the best bullpen in baseball, like they did last year and said that. But
Well, they're going to say they have the best starting pitching. I know that. That's already the going.
it's either it's them or Seattle, right? I think that was the other team I saw who might have it.
I mean, Atlanta took a step back. They lost Fried, so I mean that hurts them. I mean, even if Spencer Strider comes back and it's 100%, which I doubt he will be. Yeah, Seattle's got who? What's his name? Brian Wu, a couple other guys. I mean, there's no real dominant pitching staff in baseball. I mean, the Mets don't have it. Braves don't have it. Yankees, yeah, there's no dominant team. I mean, they probably do have the best starting pitching. Doesn't say much.
No, because when you look at the situation, I mean, you're going to go through those stretches that we've seen over the past few years with the offense, and it's just we're going to come on here and we're going to be angry.
Same team.
Yeah, the offense doesn't score.
There's nobody to look forward to on offense. There's no new guy out there.
Who bats behind? Who is protection for Harper? Is it Bohm again?
Yeah.
I guess that's what they do. What you can't put Castellanos there. You can't put JT there. So.
No. They signed a left fielder, right? He's going to be their everyday left fielder.
Kepler.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to stink. I already feel it.
I mean, he's a left-handed Austin Hayes.
Yeah, he's a low average. Might hit a home run every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'd have been just okay if they would have just kept Austin Hayes. And the thing is, Kepler's left-handed. And
platooned him with Marsh.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think they needed any more left-handers in the lineup.
Got a congrats from Ralph, fellow Hall of Famer Ralph Calise out in Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Ralph. Well, Ralph, while you're checking in, what do you think of the Steelers' chances this weekend against Baltimore? I mean, wow.
We already gave them not much of a chance.
Yeah, we did. And Yukio out there too, in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah. But that's where you take the old teaser. I think Baltimore's -8.5. You tease them down to 1.5. Or you can even do the 10-point just to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, the
playoffs. You could really do that. You count on close games at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting too because we sit here second week here in January. I mean, you're going to be baseball will be here before you know it.
Yeah.
It'll be starting, and then
he said, "You have to believe, but hope is believing, and I have no hope."
Well, I guess it'll be interesting to see how many Steelers fans make that trip to Baltimore, and
yeah, they'll be there with the towels. Definitely, it's not that far.
Yeah, but waving a yellow towel. I mean, there's yellow in the Ravens uniform too. But I mean, everyone knows it's Pittsburgh. But
yep.
I mean, it's no secret that our passion and the reason we're together is baseball. And
yeah,
here's the frustration though. The Phillies are going to be good enough to be a playoff team. They're going to be a playoff team. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go through the ups and downs of the season. We'll criticize the manager. We'll criticize Aaron Nola when he comes out and gives up 7 runs in the 4th inning of a game against Miami or something like that. We'll be upset when Josh Bell goes 4 for 4 and dominates a game because obviously he has to be in the National League East.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it's just wait till playoff time.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, like you said, they're going to throw their gloves and bats out there and make the playoffs, and then hope for the best matchup. I mean, it's like Ralph said. The only thing you can say is everyone is out 0-0. It's true. It's a whole new season.
Yep, true. And last year, I mean, it's at some point it didn't look like the Phillies would go out the way they did. I mean, but they just couldn't score. They couldn't score in that Mets series. They just couldn't, and
they couldn't the year before that either against Arizona. I mean, it's an easy to shut down lineup.
Yep,
You just simply pitch around them.
The only thing they did was in that second game at home. The Castellanos walked it off. Other than that, the Mets just showed up and won the game.
Right.
I mean, I guess that I'm trying to think who started that game, but even the game they had to lead in New York. I mean, it was 1-0, but Estevez wasn't coming in and not getting up a run, and he gave up a grand slam. He gave up a grand slam.
Right. Yeah. But I called it. I said a grand slam's coming. I mean, everybody knew it. Lindor's hitting a grand slam.
And he hasn't been signed by anybody either, as far as I know.
Who's that?
Carlos Estevez.
Oh no! I mean, who would sign him?
Well, I mean, he was the big signing. I mean, the big guy to bring in last year.
All-Star break signing, Carlos Estevez. Ralph wants to know our thoughts on Penn State. We actually had differing thoughts on Penn State. I like a low-scoring game. Chris went with a 31-16 Notre Dame.
31-16 Notre Dame.
Yeah. What do you think, Ralph? I don't really know. Like the people in Western PA, are you guys Penn State fans out there? Or are you Pitt fans?
I think they gravitate more to Ohio State out that way.
Do they?
I think
Pennsylvania likes Ohio State. That's okay.
I could be wrong.
I mean, the school's like right in the middle of the state, so you would think the whole state would like them. They're Penn State, Pennsylvania State. I mean, you think everybody would, but they seem like they're more of a Philly team for some reason.
You know, and one of those things, a name just came into mind. I don't think he's no longer in the NFL, but Terrell Pryor, you remember him? Who?
Ohio State, the running back, went to the Raiders and played wide receiver.
Yep. He, I don't remember the school now, but his school had won, I think it was back-to-back state championships in basketball. He was an outstanding basketball player.
PA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Altoona?
The one year they beat Strawberry Mansion. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Strawberry Mansion.
I played against Strawberry Mansion in high school.
So did my hometown that same year. We played against Strawberry Mansion down there.
I'm talking about baseball though.
Okay. Well, we played them in South Philadelphia High School down there. And,
okay.
Didn't fare too well, but that's the year. Then they lost to Terrell Pryor's team, but he went to Ohio State, and Penn State even said you can come here and play football and basketball.
Yeah.
He decided to do that. So
yeah, that would be a good top 10. We should have thought of that. We should have done a top 10 Penn State players.
Now you tell me.
Well, if they win, we'll do it for the championship game. Ralph likes Penn State 30-27.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. Larry Johnson.
Kerry
Collins.
Yeah, I knew the first name.
Kijana Carter.
Yeah, exactly.
Jahan Dotson.
You're going to be better at it than me.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of NFL Penn Staters. Micah Parsons.
Yeah. I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here blanking on some of them too, and I probably shouldn't. But there.
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders, correct.
Pat Fryermuth. There you go. Joey Porter Jr. and the Steelers. Ralph checking in. Good job.
When I worked for ECW Wrestling,
mm-hmm.
every month there was a show in Philadelphia at what was then called the ECW Arena at the beautiful corner of Swanson and Rittner in Philadelphia. But anyway, there was always a guy who had a front row seat at right on the backside of the camera, and every show he wore a Kerry Collins shirt. So he had one white, one black. So every show, and even got to the point one time where the guy who you would know, his name was Bubba Ray Dudley, who's now known as Bully Ray, even mentioned it out and said, "Why don't you get a new shirt?" I'm sick of seeing. That's when you said as Kerry Collins came.
Wow, Ralph's familiar with it, the ECW Arena.
Oh my, it was.
Yeah, you mentioned arenas in Philadelphia. Were you ever at the Blue Horizon?
I was not.
Me either.
I was
wanted to go. Wanted to go.
The ECW arena is still there. I don't know what they call it now. It might be the 2300 arena. I'm not sure. I mean, I know
it's the Blue Horizon was really cool. I mean, they used to be on ESPN, I think, on Tuesday nights.
Boxing, right?
And the ring announcer. This is so funny. It's a funny story. My first job, I worked as an auto parts. I delivered auto parts. I was 16 years old. I drove auto parts in a pickup truck during the summer, right? So our guy that came in the store, our salesman from the warehouse, he looked familiar to me. He always came in. I was just a kid, so I never really got involved in talking. He would go down. They had it downstairs. He would go downstairs, play cards with the owner. He would leave. He'd say, "See you later." A couple months would go by. I find out he's the ring announcer from the Blue Horizon.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Seti. His ring announcer. He had a different name, but his name was Seti. And he was the guy. Welcome to the Blue Horizon.
I remember that too. That's back with boxing. Boxing was a big thing, especially in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It was a big thing.
And it was so cool. Like, I would love to watch it on like a Tuesday night. You'd see a guy that's like 10-0. You know what I mean? You get to see him like the beginning of his career. And,
you're right, because it was the thing. I mean, Monday night was wrestling and Tuesday night was boxing. I mean, that's just Ralph, I have a question for you though. You're familiar with the ECW arena. Are you familiar with the Golden Dome out there in Monaca, Pennsylvania, right outside Philadelphia, where ECW used to run shows every month and ran some pay-per-views? Was that Charles? Retirement.
His name was Ed Darian. That was his ring announcer name, but his real name was Seti.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, with having a name that's not your legitimate name. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that. I wouldn't either. Dealing with wrestling, hey, we went 47 minutes and we didn't mention the Sixers.
Who?
Exactly, Ralph. You have no clue on that one. Hey, that's fine. I would tell you, hey, go on YouTube or Google and look it up. There's probably plenty of shows there from the Golden Dome in Monaca, Pennsylvania. That was always fun making the trips out to Pittsburgh. But what was that? Okay. Take the Sixers aside, but what is going on in the NBA where every night? I mean, did you see the garbage that was on the floor last night for both teams? I mean, the people who paid to go to that game.
I mean, it used to be when we were kids, you knew almost every player in the league. Like, I knew the whole rosters for the Pacers. I knew the Clippers roster. I had the games, the Sega Genesis Lakers Celtics game. I knew every team. Now they just get guys off the street. I mean, every team plays like 30 guys a year. It's like, because nobody wants to play. They're all hurt, and everybody wants to conserve their guys for the playoffs. I mean, the NBA is no longer a far-fetched dream. You just have to be 6'5" or taller, and you got a legit shot at playing in the NBA. I haven't heard of half of these guys.
And you got a good shot at being a starter some nights too, because of people who aren't out there. I mean, if you can contribute, you might even be a starter.
Yeah, all you got to do is stick around, not get hurt. Ralph says he agrees with me on that. It's a 3-point contest every game. And they all know it. They all know it, but they have to keep doing it. It's not going to stop either.
That's no. It's not, and it's okay. It's like we said. We got a situation where you're right. The league has become a 3-point shooting contest, and the Sixers have a dominant inside guy.
Yeah, they don't have one 3-point shooter.
Of course, that's just what and look, I know it's halfway through season 1. There's been some injuries, which is going to happen or whatever, but still, the signing of Paul George, it should not have happened. I'm sorry. There's going to be nights where he's going to put up 30 and it's going to look amazing, but I mean, he's going to be hurt. He's going to have off nights where he's shooting.
Oh. If we were in the front office, he wouldn't be here. No. The city would be a lot happier.
And here's the thing. They're not moving him for Jimmy Butler. So, I mean, all the talk on social media, I mean, they're not doing that.
No, it's not. They can't trade him.
You're right. I don't even know if they can trade him.
No, he's not even allowed to be traded. Right. Yeah, Ralph says, come on, Sixers Celtics back in the day. Andrew Toney. Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
Dennis. I hated them Celtics.
that's what I mean. That was basketball, though. It was so. I remember going out as a kid, going to dinner, and I would sneak away from the dinner table to go to the bar to watch the Sixers in the playoffs or the Bulls. They were must-see TV. Every playoff game, they were all star teams. You had the Bulls, you had the Pistons, the Pacers. There were superstars on every team. There's no superstars in this league, and there's no shooters. Steph Curry's the only guy in the league that I could say I actually want to watch him shoot. How do you have 30 other teams? Nobody could shoot the ball.
Even going back, I mean, you had the Milwaukee Bucks, you had the Seattle Supersonics, right?
Ray Allen and Glenn Robinson, and those teams. And, yeah, like you said, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Dale Ellis. These were good teams, good players.
And you're right. It's become a 3-point shooting contest, and there's not that many shooters.
Where are these shooters? How come there's not kids shooting a ball 500 times a day somewhere trying to be in the NBA?
It's a good question.
I don't get it. This is the only era ever where there's not great shooters. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
No, and it's apparently. I mean, the product is really. I mean, has been hurt by it. I mean, I don't know if it's attendance or watching games on television or things, but I mean the product. I mean,
it's garbage.
I think I saw once there was a comparison. It was one of the Laker. I think it was one of the Laker teams in the 80s that had won the championship, and I think they said in the entire season they shot 88 3-pointers.
Yeah,
I mean that's done by most teams on back-to-back nights.
Probably 30 of those were buzzer beaters from half court, just trying to get the shot off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean.
Magic, Kareem, James Worthy, Michael Cooper was on those teams.
It's never going to happen, but I think it would improve the game if you could only make a 3-pointer to count as a 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. That would change things, but then that's just not going to happen.
You know, I think they're gonna add a 4-pointer.
It wouldn't shock me.
They're going to put another line around. These guys will shoot it too. That'll be all they do is shoot 4s.
or they'll put like discs on the floor, and if your foot is touching that disc when you shoot it, it's a 4-pointer.
Yeah, that'll change the game. They'll be defending it. They have to defend the 4-point shot here.
You know, it's just like you look at the team though. You look at the Celtics game. I mean, they're going to shoot 53s. But they were the champions last year. So
that's true.
They won it. I mean, so
thanks, Phil. Thanks, Ralph. Enjoy. Good luck. Good luck with the Steelers.
And when you look at the Sixers, I mean, it looks like a situation where they're probably going to get the 6th seed, maybe.
You think?
Might.
Yeah.
Nobody else is any good in the East.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
It's Cleveland and it's Boston, and then Knicks. Yeah.
Oklahoma City on the other side. I mean, there's not much there.
Yeah, I think I mean it was a fun game last night. The Thunder and the Cavaliers. I mean,
is he the MVP? SGA
right now?
Yeah.
I would. It's either him or the default MVP.
I know.
Unfortunately, he's missed a couple games with
right.
This, but I mean, if not, it just defaults to him. I don't know who else it would be.
Nobody. It's down to them.
Yeah. I mean,
OKC's good, but besides SGA, I mean, there's no superstar on that team.
No. Holmgren's been hurt.
Right. They got Jalen Williams. I mean, they're not loaded with talent.
Dortz can shoot it from the outside. So yeah. I mean, you're not looking at OKC and all of a sudden superstars are popping in your head.
Right.
Well, I think I saw Charles and Shaq were talking about this the other week, that there's no stars in the league.
Right.
Like I mean, there's no you don't have a huge collection of superstars.
Nope.
And right now, who would you say is the biggest star in the league?
Jason Tatum.
It's either him or LeBron.
LeBron James, right?
LeBron's 40.
Yeah, he's still scoring 24 points a game. That just tells you there's no defense being played.
So they brought nobody. I mean, really, no one's come through. I mean, you have SGA. Yep. Jokic. Oh, okay. And Embiid. If Embiid was healthy, I mean, you could call him a superstar. I'm trying to think.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, who was? Yeah, I mean, MVP of the finals last year.
Jalen Brunson.
I'm thinking Luka maybe a superstar. I mean, you even look at the team in Phoenix. I mean, Devin Booker, no. KD, not no.
That's a bust. They're probably saying the same thing Sixers fans are. Get these guys out of here.
Yeah, well, it looked good on paper. Bradley Beal being there.
Yeah, all their statistics look good. Yeah, but once they get out there, it's a totally different story.
Yeah, and apparently that team doesn't have a draft pick till like 2050 or something. They've given them all away.
They're not missing much. There's nobody to draft anyway.
Oh, that's a good point. Sadly, the guy the Sixers drafted was playing well until he got the meniscus injury.
I know. Since when does a meniscus surgery end your season though? I never saw that.
I would love to be able to talk to a doctor about that. We'll try and get a doctor on something.
Yeah, any doctors in the chat? We have 96 people here. One of you has got to be a doctor.
I've said this before. I mean, I had meniscus surgery, but I wasn't coming off meniscus surgery and trying to play in the NBA. But hasn't
Embiid did? Didn't Embiid have it?
Embiid had it. He came back.
Yeah, Chase Utley had it. He played like a week later.
when they said that was the issue, in my mind it was like, okay, good.
A month.
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't know. I don't get it.
You know how it works. You know how it works in Philadelphia.
A Sixers rookie has to miss the season.
I don't even know who they're playing next. I mean, they're playing tomorrow, I think.
I think it's Orlando, and of course, with the Sixers' luck, Paolo Banchero is going to come back.
Actually, it's the Pelicans.
Then Orlando. I know they play Orlando this weekend.
Let's see here. The next few games for the Sixers tomorrow, the Pelicans, and then you're right. They go to Orlando. Ranchero will be back and drop 40 on them. And then the Thunder come in, and then the Knicks come in.
Oh, boy.
So they're not going to win too many.
No way.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that 6 seed. If they get to 30 wins, that probably might 30 to 32 wins might get you in the playoffs.
Yeah, possible. 32 and 50.
Yeah. When I think the odds were, if it was 52 wins, was the over under for the Sixers?
Wow, that was easy money. Easy under.
Yeah. At this point, looking at it, yeah, you're right. And I don't even look. I can't even say that there's somebody out there they should try and trade for.
They don't have anybody to trade.
Oh, that's true too. I mean, we Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry,
Kelly Oubre,
yeah, I don't
Ricky
know.
Council Jr.
The only person that would have any value of being traded,
Oubre,
maybe, or Ubaselli. I mean, he's playing well.
Yeah, that was a nice pickup. Yeah,
I mean, he's going to get paid in the offseason by somebody.
Yeah, he's old though. He's like 30. Yeah, I mean, he's no young buck. He missed a lot. He's been gone for a while.
Yeah,
100 people in the chat. I'm surprised. That's dinner time. You guys still joined us. Appreciate that.
Thank you, especially for those out there on the West Coast. I mean, it's 4:00. So, and look, we can just roughly go through the world famous Flyer. It's going to be the Flyers second.
Boo!
That's it.
That's it.
I did not put together a top 10, but
we did it already.
Yeah, we did. The Penn State, which we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
But what I do have is kind of a new segment here for kind of a new segment. We'll see. It's kind of Test Bobby, which is what the top 10 kind of is as well. But it's also Test the audience. But now here with the audience, you have to be on your honor because you can't Google. Because when I say you can't Google, you can't use the internet or get help, because don't go around and use DuckDuckGo or something and say I didn't Google. But no, it's a question, and we'll see.
Okay.
Name all the teams in the top 4 sports whose nickname doesn't end with an S.
How many are there?
I have 11.
All right. Utah Jazz.
Correct. Utah Jazz.
Orlando.
Actually, funny part is I have the Jazz listed first.
Orlando Magic.
Correct.
Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. Correct.
I love how I reel them off and I just had a blank.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. I feel like there's more basketball.
There's one more basketball.
One more basketball.
Mm-hmm. We had a nice conversation about them a minute ago.
Magic. Knicks. What are we talking about?
I know it's tough. They might have the MVP, but they really don't have any other stars on the team.
Thunder. Okay. That's a new one. Right, so that's four. That's 4 in the NBA.
That's all I have for NBA.
Go to hockey. The Wild.
Correct.
You count the hockey team?
Yes, that made 11.
Is that it for hockey?
No, there is.
The Lightning.
There's 3 more in hockey.
Oh my God. Lightning makes 7. The Coyotes. No, that's not. That's an S.
The Coyotes. No,
that's an S. Avalanche.
Avalanche. Correct.
That's 8, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I was ready to put 5.
New franchise. Couple years old.
Oh, the up in Seattle.
Yep.
The whatever the hell they're called.
The Seattle Kraken.
The Kraken.
There's no team. There's no team
in baseball.
There's no team in football.
Oh.
There's 2 in baseball.
2 baseball, no S's.
And as soon as you get one, you can't not get the next one.
Oh, White Sox and Red Sox.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'll have a top 10 next week. But
that was a top 11.
That was. That rolled that. Yeah, because when I did it, I thought about it. I thought there was 10. And then I saw something somewhere that this Utah Hockey Club. I'm like, oh,
hockey club. I said hockey team.
Yeah, what difference does it make?
Well, there used to be 12. You had the football team.
Which?
Yeah, Washington was called the football team.
Oh, yeah. Right. Right, because they couldn't.
That was like a what's on first skit right there. The football team. Which one? The football team.
Which has the Sixers owner, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, everyone who's joined us, thank you very much.
Yes.
Anyone who listens to us going forward, you can find me at Chris Amos 717 on Twitter. I call it now.
Yeah, it's right on the screen at Bobby Cash 215. Yeah,
exactly. Contact us and let us know what you think of the show. Let us know why we're wrong. It's got that.
We're never wrong.
Nah. Penn State tonight. I mean, hopefully.
One of us is going to be wrong.
Hopefully they can win it. And Eagles Sunday. I mean, we'll try to be back at the normal time, Tuesday, 8:00 next week. If not, hey, everyone knows where to find out when we're going to be on. So.
Yep. All right. Appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to check out, find something to eat, and get ready for Penn State.
You got it. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, everyone.